Welcome to Novelish Universe, where pages come alive and story touch the soul. Step into a realm of sorrow and love and fate, where every word whispers emotion and every moment leaves a mark. Let your imagination soar. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for regular updates on new novels. Today, we begin a powerful journey with the novel Risking My Life, Proposing to Miss Hazel. The story begins now. Chapter 11. Good heavens! What on earth is going on? I woke up feeling refreshed, had a baguette with butter and chocolate for breakfast, and went to work in a great mood, only to be greeted by a sight so unbelievable I could hardly process it. Burly men dressed in black were hauling away piles of Golden General Store's worst unsold inventory. The holy water Felix had been drawing for the past week. When my brother spotted me, his eyes curved brightly in delight. I mouthed, "What's going on?" And he shouted back triumphantly, "Hazel, we're sold out of holy water." Question mark? I sold it all. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I was so dumbfounded I couldn't even form a proper question. Is this a dream? If it is, that would make sense. Dreams are always absurd. Blinking blankly, I stretched my soft cheeks out long with my fingers. Felix snorted and walked over, letting out a breathy laugh. Pinching yourself won't wake you up. So it is a dream? I don't think so. He grabbed my cheeks with both hands and pulled them sideways. It didn't even hurt. That pretty much confirmed it. This has to be a dream. Felix's sharp eyes curved even brighter. The dimple in the center of his cheek was deep enough that I almost wanted to poke it. It's unfair how handsome he is. That face doesn't match his rotten personality at all. Of course, I would never praise my own flesh and blood out loud over my dead body. He watched me stare off blankly for a moment before chuckling low in his throat. When you're like this... Huh? You know you're exactly like when you were 7? You were pretty cute back then. Couldn't do a thing on your own, always trailing behind me. Oppa Wu was way more reliable. The Felix of when I was 12, now practically deceased in spirit, had truly been dependable. He somehow deciphered my garbled speech perfectly and began spewing irresponsible nonsense. I'll be even more dependable now, so just trust your big brother. Look, I sold all the holy water, didn't I? ... Well, if this is a dream, I suppose anything's possible. Even though I clearly didn't believe him, he didn't look the slightest bit discouraged. His clear cheeks were flushed with excitement. Hazel, wait outside for a bit. I'll explain everything when we're done. You won't have to lift a finger. He obediently let go of my cheeks and gently pushed me out of the shop. I stepped into the alley and watched quietly. Creak. 2 freight wagons had arrived at the entrance. Felix took the lead in loading the holy water. Even the sweat dripping down his face looked cheerful. "Mr. Felix, is this all the holy water?" "There's more here." Villagers gathered in front of the alley, huddled together. Every single one looked like they'd seen a ghost. Hazel, what's going on? I'm not sure either. Did Felix cause trouble again? Well, according to him, he sold all the holy water he drew. Before I could even finish, the villagers gasped in unison. What? Really? He sold all that holy water? Yes, probably, if this isn't a dream. As time passed, more people gathered. Old Mr. Albert from the bookstore shuffled out, blinking his sharp but aging eyes. Is it finally my time? The villagers hurriedly protested. Oh, goodness, sir, what are you saying? With how straight your back is, you'll live another 30 years. You're not the only one seeing things, Grandpa. We're doubting our eyes, too. Is that so? Well, that's a relief. Felix ignored the crowd's stares and kept hauling bottles. The 2 large wagons soon filled completely with bottled holy water. Is that everything? Yes, we'll be on our way. If you need more, please contact us. This should be sufficient. Farewell." The wagon set off, kicking up clouds of dust. As they disappeared into the distance, the villagers began clapping as if enchanted. Clap, 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 clap. Applause for Felix. Well, I'll be. Lucky rascal. He spent a whole week drawing holy water and sold it all in one go. I know, right? I thought he finally gone crazy, but looks like fortune is smiling on him. Did he actually plan this? Plan, my foot. Probably got a crystal ball reading. If he received a prophecy telling him to stockpile holy water, that would explain it. Amazing that Grandma Lisa's fortune came true. Seriously, that old woman's predictions never land. I nodded along as I listened. Grandma Lisa, the village's only fortune teller, is like a broken clock. Her predictions come true maybe once or twice a year by pure coincidence. They say she was gifted in her prime, but no one remembers that prime, one of the 3 great mysteries of Luden village. Still, the guess that he saw Grandma Lisa does make sense. From suddenly drawing holy water to selling it at just the right moment, it fits too perfectly. Felix bowed like a street performer finishing a show, basking in the applause. Honestly, I'll give him this. He's shamelessly bold. You could drop him in the desert and he'd still find a way to survive. He came up to me, wagging his metaphorical tail like a dog waiting for praise. "Hazel, you still don't believe it? I sold it all, I'm telling you." Grinning playfully, he flicked my forehead with his finger. Ow! My forehead throbbed. Maybe this isn't a dream after all. So, to sum it up, some unidentified noble fled from the capital to Cromwell Castle while contaminated by black magic. Right, the family members who fled with them were contaminated, so they needed a lot of holy water. If they hadn't secured it quickly, the contamination could have spread to Cromwell Castle. He puffed up proudly, his shoulders rising. The bridge of Felix's nose seemed a whole knuckle higher than usual. This feels ominous. Everything had gone smoothly, but I couldn't shake the unease. Small happiness often brings great misfortune. If there's one thing life and Felix have in common, it's that you must never let your guard down. I carefully retraced his suspicious behavior the past week. Then suddenly, within a week, Ta will arrive from the capital. The note he'd scribbled in the newspaper flashed in my mind. He'd started drawing holy water from the monster territory after that day. No way. Did he anticipate this happening? But how? Lowering my voice seriously, I asked, "Did you go see Grandma Lisa for a reading a week ago?" He looked puzzled. "No? Who even goes to Grandma Lisa?" It didn't seem like a lie. Then how did you know? You stocked up because you knew holy water would be needed soon, didn't you? I got myself a valuable informant. Anyway, it's not dangerous, so don't worry. I'm worried. Very. Felix has never had a good sense for danger. The fact that he went alone into monster territory to draw holy water says it all. In short, he has no fear. I grabbed his arm earnestly. "Oppa, let's just go back to drinking." Huh? Drink and gamble again. I think that would be better. I was serious. If he's going to do something suspicious behind my back, I'd rather it be the reckless nonsense I already know about. But he just laughed it off and held out a pouch of coins to me. Gambling will inevitably betray your coin purse, but hard work never does. Chapter 12. Clink, clink. The sound of coins instantly soothed my body and mind. Without even trying, my thoughts turned optimistic. A pleased smile spread across my lips before I knew it. Is that what you earned today? Yep. After selling that much holy water, it couldn't be just pocket change. We did give big discounts when selling in bulk, but still, if we add just a little more, we might even be able to buy a small house on the outskirts of the village. Strictly speaking, my brother and I don't live in a proper house. It's a hut herbalists built to store herbs and avoid the night dew. For 2 siblings with nowhere else to go, it was a cozy nest. But honestly, I'd love to live in a real house with a separate kitchen and bedroom. But then, The money pouch Felix was shaking looked pitifully light. We had sold enough holy water to fill 2 entire carts, and he'd only earned that much silver? The numbers didn't add up. A bad feeling crept over me. I really didn't like this. Still, clinging to my last shred of hope, I asked like someone grasping at straw. Opa? The coins in that pouch, they're gold, right? Please. If they're not gold, this makes no sense. But Felix was, as always, Felix. He never strayed from my expectations. He answered proudly, "Nope, silver." What? My heart dropped. The small flutter of excitement I'd felt crashed straight to the ground. Just a handful of silver coins? He could have earned more than that in a week picking herbs. Felix saw my disappointed face and awkwardly scratched his back of his neck. He clearly knew he was at fault. I stared blankly at my hopelessly bad-at-math brother and muttered weakly, "Opa, are you a sucker? Don't you know the market price for holy water?" "I do." "No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't have done something like this." As I murmured in disbelief, he glanced at me and explained himself. "The people who fled the capital don't have any money. We have to save lives first." Save lives first. Right. Life is the most important thing. That was technically true, but not something reckless Felix should be saying. And people fleeing the capital wouldn't be penniless. If they didn't have money, they'd at least have valuables. If they were nobles, they'd surely own something like a mana charger. When I pointed that out, he quickly added, "Actually, I gained something more valuable than money." "What?" "Trust." It might look like a loss right now, but we'll be repaid several times over soon. Just wait a little." Ugh. This idiot really only knows how to run his mouth. If he couldn't even talk, maybe I could forgive it. Heat flared through me. My stomach churned. My head burned. I let out a long sigh and then shouted loud enough to rupture his eardrums. What trust do nobles have? Do they even see poor commoners like us as people? I swallowed the rest of what I wanted to say and shot up from my seat. I couldn't stand how clueless he was about the world. "Hazel, calm down first." As I stormed out of the shop, he grabbed me. I smacked his hand away and snapped, "How am I supposed to calm down? Do you know your life is included in the price of that holy water you drew from the monster territory? You say it's not dangerous, but it's the kind of place that normally requires a whole battalion to enter. How do you know what that noble will make you do next? What if he threatens you to keep selling it cheap?" "Hazel, he's not that kind of person. Don't worry for nothing." "How would you know that?" How do I explain this? "Hazel, don't be so angry. Nothing you're worried about will happen." My forehead felt hot. The pressure behind my eyes stung like I might cry. My insides felt like they were burning black. With reddened eyes, I glared at him and enunciated every word. "You idiot. Value your own life before you try to save someone else." "Hazel. Starting tomorrow, you'd be better off drinking again. I mean it." "Fine. I'll go bad, too. It's not like he's the only one who can act like a delinquent." The place my angry footsteps carried me to was none other than the village's only tavern. Thankfully, it was open. Maybe because it was still early, there wasn't a single customer inside. The tavern owner, Uncle Rupert, widened his eyes when he saw me. "Hazel? What brings you here? Felix isn't here. Hasn't he gotten his act together lately?" "I'm the customer today." "What? You? It's still broad daylight." I nodded, resolutely, and sat at the bar. Rupert set down the beer glass he'd been glassing and came over. "Trying to become a troublemaker in Felix's place?" "Just one drink." That's how he started, too. "Oh, didn't know that." His thick brows furrowed slightly. He asked in a voice heavy with concern, "What's going on? I thought Felix wasn't causing trouble these days." As if. I also heard he made a lot of money today. The whole village was buzzing that Hazel might finally buy a house. I thought so too. I didn't realize my brother was such a sucker. Oh dear. He shook his head, then quickly switched into tavern owner mode. What will you have? I've got some good stuff in. Whatever my brother usually drinks. No way. That stuff is strong, awful, and cheap. You can't have that. Then give me something expensive. I'll bring you something you'll like. Just wait. A moment later, a drink piled high with whipped cream and chocolate cookies was set in front of me. It didn't seem to be alcohol, but it did look delicious. Uncle Rupert handed me a waffle with a mountain of whipped cream and smiled. This one's on the house. You're my regular customer's sister. Thank you. I'll enjoy it. I forced a small smile, tilted the glass, and took a sip. Thick, sweet liquid coated my tongue. A slight bitterness at the end, coffee, balanced it nicely. Well, my masterpiece of a new menu item? It's sweet and tasty. It'll go down easy. Good to hear. Still, drink slowly. Yes. I let his words go in one ear and out the other. As I dipped the waffle in whipped cream and took a bite, someone unexpectedly entered the tavern. A man who didn't fit this shabby rural bar with its creaky door that wouldn't even close properly, Mr. Barron. Uncle Rupert, I'm here. In a city-bred, refined tone, he greeted Rupert warmly. The odd contrast made it amusing. He'd been in the village for quite some time now, yet I still found him awkward. No matter how I looked at him, he was an outsider. He didn't belong in a countryside village like this. Still, calling him an assassin was too much. I snickered at my brother's ridiculous warning. As if responding to my laughter, Barron turned his head. His red eyes curved into a smile when he spotted me. My brother told me not even to make eye contact with him, but that was nonsense. Miss Hazel, we meet here today. His light greeting carried a hint of delight, and I followed with an awkward smile. Being caught at Rupert's place in broad daylight made me oddly self-conscious. I gestured to my glass and fumbled an explanation. This is just a tasty drink, that's all. Anyway, nice to see you, Mr. Barron. The pleasure is mine. I suppose I'm lucky today. Lucky? How? Barron's characteristic languid smile deepened. Without answering, he shrugged and stepped closer to me. The end. Thank you for wandering through today's tale in the novelish universe. If the story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join our growing realm of dreamers. Until we meet again, keep your heart open and your mind enchanted.